Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Thursday, March 17th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you are someone that uses charts, or maybe you're interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. Before I get to the watch list, I first want to personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online class that I'm offering here very soon. So if you're liking what you see as I go through the video and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and how it should be used to build consistency as a trader, then certainly get signed up for the free class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. If you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage that you can click to get signed up. So definitely, if you're liking what you see, get signed up for the free class. Two quick clarification points. Number one, this price over here that you see will still be moving as I go through the different stocks because the market's open for a little bit of time. But I like to do these videos at the end of the day when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then next thing is that I'll be using the 30-minute time frame. So for you beginners out there, what that means is that each one of these candlesticks here, as they're called, represents 30 minutes worth of time. So first one here, ticker symbol NIO. I've been tracking this one very closely. And for those of you, that have watched the past several videos, you've heard me say this is too well known of a stock, and all it's going to take is even a little bit of good news, and this thing should make quality movements, and that is what we're witnessing here over the past couple of days, especially today with the big gap up. But for those of you that, like I said, watch previous videos, then hopefully you already caught this upward strength right here, which was the leading indicator to a very, very powerful day today. So I'm going to go ahead and just get these lines out of the way. They serve their purpose for now. And from a presentation standpoint, I don't want to risk causing confusion because there's lines and clutter everywhere. So let's try to keep this as clean as possible. Because really going forward, there are now two main areas to watch. The first level is from the resistance side of things, and that is all about that pink line up there. They're very well known, very famous 200 period moving average. That's one of those areas where even if you have just a basic understanding of charts, I'm sure you've heard of that moving average, and the current value of that is, let's just call it up there at 19. And then as far as levels of support are concerned, the new key level to watch moving forward down there at the 50 period moving average, again, one of those very well-known, very famous levels, currently valued at $15.85. But overall, very, very powerful move. And who knows, maybe this is truly, again, just the start of a much bigger movement to the upside. But maybe it's not, and that's why risk management matters. But definitely keep a close eye on that 200 period moving average on Thursday. Speaking of that 200 period moving average, as we look at our next stock here, ticker symbol BEKE. Well, look right there. This is why it's famous. This is why it's very well known, and that's why exactly why I told you to keep an eye on it for NIO. Because with BEKE today, you can see not once but twice the price has struggled right at that area. Now, does that mean that the price can never get above it? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that is a reason why you'd want to keep an eye on it and why there is a self-fulfilling prophecy attribute with it, meaning that when a lot of people know about them with 200 period moving average and are watching and wondering the same things, while that doesn't guarantee anything, it does make it plausible to think that, well, because a bunch of people may act a certain way if certain things happen. In this situation, the price breaking above that pink line, that could very well create quite a bit of upwards buying pressure. So again, nothing's guaranteed, but that's a plausible thought process to have. As far as areas of support on this one are concerned, first key level in the near term right there at $13.80. And then as far as a bit bigger of a support level in terms of, if you were to require this to pull back more, that would be down there right around $12.50. Next one here, SONN, and this is big volume one, penny stock. So for those of you that like this price range, here you go. And what I like about this one the most is the fact of this right here. Now, that may seem a little backwards, but let's establish some overall context. And the overall context is this: there is a lot of upwards pressure you can see via the gap up, and then the fact that the price has still been going up. So overall, the price is still moving upwards, but the price has pulled back. And this is, helpful in my mind because as traders, I would argue you should always be a little paranoid of, am I the sucker that's buying the top? Am I chasing the price? Am I suffering from FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. And in this situation, you no longer have to have that worry because the people that were buying the top, the suckers, were, they've already bought. That's already happened. Now, of course, that doesn't guarantee that this will still be a winning trade, but I'm just saying that a paranoia point has been alleviated and it's no longer there. So if you do like to play stocks that are pulling back within general overall uptrends, then this is definitely one that I'd have on your watch list as an interesting pullback point, potentially going to be down there around that 45-cent mark. So yeah, this thing needs to get a bit more ugly on the pullback, but if it does, then overall you could structure yourself a nice risk versus reward trade plan. Next one, DIDI, and this will mean a tad bit to those of you that watched a previous video, but if you did, hopefully you remember me putting that trend line in place, and you can see it actually broke the trend line yesterday on Tuesday, Didn't do a whole lot, but went sideways. But again, the leading indicator was right there. Okay, that trend line was finally broken, but today is where that trend line break actually went into full effect. So for anybody that watched the video and bought the break of that trend line and had the patience to just hold through this sideways movement right there, again, it's not like it broke and then went to new lows. Nothing crazy like that. Just broke and then kind of got boring, went sideways. But for those of you that, like I said, had the patience to sit through there, congratulations on today. So let me just go ahead and get rid of these levels here and get the new updates in place here. And again, going back to the whole idea of self-fulfilling prophecies, we really have that here because there are two very well-defined areas. The first well-defined area is just the bottom part of this little miniature sideways channel here that is formed at $2.50. And then the top part of the channel here, again, I'm not trying to proclaim that this is some sort of great discovery on my part. I assure you a lot of people have noticed that, okay, yeah, right up there at $2.72-ish, that has been a problem point. So really moving forward, it's just a question of who is ultimately going to win out of this sideways battle. Are the bulls going to win out with a break to the upside? Are the bears going to win with a break to the downside? That's the main question going forward. But like I said, that very, very well-defined areas on this one, and that's what I like. Well-defined levels that a lot of other people are watching. Next one here, AMC, and I'm going to promise to try to not cry here, but this stuff truly brings a tear to my eye as a technical trader and just reiterates how powerful charts are. Are they perfect? No, but they certainly have a place, and we have an example of that right here. So if you watched the video from previously, you know that I talked about this 1425 as an area of resistance, and the price broke above it right here. So at that point, foundational rule in charting states when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. And like I said, you just can't make this stuff up. I'm trying not to cry here, but look at this. Pulled all the way down here, right off of the previous resistance, and then up it went. So truly a thing of beauty. And for any of you that caught that entry point right there, I mean, you absolutely nailed it. So congratulations. But now moving forward, point here being ideal level of support, 1425. The reason why that's, I'm not going to call it do or die, but pretty important is if the price were to break down below there, what would that be doing to the price? That would quite literally be putting the price right back inside of this range where it just was. And I mean, not to insult your intelligence, but price movements that go back to where they were, not exactly a sign of genuine power. So 1425 going to be that main area of support moving forward. As far as resistances are concerned, key level right up there at $15.60. So keep an eye on that. But overall, good day for AMC. Next one, VEON, and an interesting pattern here when you just kind of look at and consider it as a story. So price started, the bulls came just roaring out of the gates. Bears showed up, pushed the price back downwards, but in pushing downwards, didn't make that much progress. Leveled off here, which was higher than these other areas. In other words, higher lows, and now has started to turn back upwards with the final 30 minutes, which we're watching unfold right now, seemingly go pretty well. So it's really now just a question of, okay, was this a healthy consolidation, and is this kind of round number 2 of momentum to come? Now think about that. In order for me to even ask that question, what needs to happen in the first place? Well, something positive needs to happen in the first place, and we've got to something positive. Now that doesn't guarantee that the positive is going to turn into even more positive, but at least something positive has happened. And that's the whole idea of a watch list. Identify interesting dynamics, interesting positive dynamics, and then watch them and see if even more positive comes from it. So in my mind, key area to watch initially going to be right up here at 48 cents, and then not that far low, or not that far away up above, you have, once again, that pink line there, 200 period moving average. But if the price can clear through both those areas, then once more, no guarantees, but it's completely plausible to think that that could create another surge in momentum. So definitely keep an eye on it. Next one here, KC, and I like this one for the reason being a very nice pattern, nice being defined as, I'm sure a lot of people have noticed it. So it goes back to the whole idea of self-fulfilling prophecies. But right here, let's just get it drawn up. So as far as top part of the pattern resistance, we have that level. As far as the bottom part of the pattern, we have that level right there, and it's just going to drive me nuts. So let's make this a little more. There we go. So let me also change this to green to represent more so the bullish dynamic of the pattern. So we have the support portion, and then to make this all one color, to make it easier to see, we have the resistance, we have the support, we have the momentum move up here, and then to make it more visual, let's put a little golf hole down here. So this would be known as a bull pennant pattern. So if you like to play stocks down below, the $10 range, you like bull pennant patterns, well then I would definitely get this one on your watch list. Next one, PLTR. Been tracking this one very closely. Talked about how, hey, you know what? Maybe this sideways action was finally the symbol of some sort of bottoming movement. And yes, absolutely fantastic day today. So updates need to be made. I'm going to go ahead and make the update here, which you now hopefully know what I'm going to say. When levels of resistance are broken and closed above, they tend to act as support. So moving forward, right here at 1090 is going to be one of those, like AMC, an important level of support, because you don't want to see the price come down here and then break below it, because that would all of a sudden be what? Well, be putting the price right back to where it was, which of course is not what you want to see. But the good news is that's very far away, so I don't really foresee that happening. Certainly not tomorrow. I suppose anything's possible, but that doesn't seem very likely. But the more interesting dynamic here is, well, where's the next key battleground at? And check this level out. Once again, self-fulfilling prophecy type attribute of things. I assure you a bunch of people have drawn that trend line right there. I mean, look how just spot on it has been. Rejected the price, rejected the price, rejected the price. So right up here around, let's call it 1195-ish, 1190-ish is going to be that next key breakout point, again, denoted by the trend line that I think a lot of people will be watching. But overall, great day on this one. Next one, MULN. Not a whole lot of action here, but interesting action that makes me want to keep it on the watch just because the pattern is still in play. It got tested today, but to give full credit where credit's due, the bulls held strong. Bottom of the pattern, you can see right here, did get tested, but not only did that area at $1.50 hold strong, it provided a little bounce point and is now, the price bounced the price up to basically $1.75 right now. So overall, though, the pattern is still in play. And in fact, the pattern has gotten just that much more well-defined. So this overall bull flag pattern, 100% in play. And, it just remains a question of who's ultimately going to win out. The bears try to win out by ruining the pattern, by pushing it to the downside. But as I already pointed out, the bulls stepped up. And now it's just a question of, okay, well, let's see if the price can continue on up and potentially do battle with this $2 mark again. But overall, been tracking this one and want to continue to track it as long as the pattern's quote-unquote in play and it remains that way. So let's see how it continues to play out on Thursday. Now, I might just start crying. I already tried to hold myself back previously, but for you longtime viewers, you know exactly why on this one, and it has everything to do with this red line right there. I put that in play a couple weeks ago, and I made the comment, you know what, I'm just going to keep it there out of curiosity. Let's see how things continue to go with it. And many days it wasn't relevant. But, I just kept it there because it seemed to me, and I'm not to pat myself on the back, but it proved once again to be a very, very important level. Because wouldn't you know it, this huge bounce right here got rejected right at that red line. So yes, this red line here was once again came into play today and once again proved to be a very, very relevant level. But what makes this very interesting is, as you can see here, the price is still right at that level. So it's more than valid to throw out the question of, hey, is this trend line finally going to be broken? No guarantees, of course, but given how close it is, given how it tested it, let's see what happens. And the value of this line, let's just call it right up around $842. So $842 is going to be a level. This trend line is going to be a level that lots and lots of people are watching, because I assure you again, many people have drawn that trend line around the world and are wondering and watching the same exact thing. So let's see how the price behaves with that level. But really, that's the main dynamic right here. All eyes on 842-ish. Let's see if the price can finally get the break up through it and then continue on up through. So that wraps up the top 10. Again, if you like what you saw here, and hopefully you saw the practical power, the usefulness of this tool, and you want to learn more about it, how it can and should be used, then definitely get signed up for the class. Like I said, it'll be here very soon on Thursday, March 17th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So certainly get signed up for it. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy this format, if you would like for me to continue to put in the time and effort to scan, to analyze these charts, and then structure them in a video, please let me know with some basic feedback by hitting that like button and leaving a basic comment below. Even if you just say hi, give me a ticker symbol that you traded today. But those two things go a long way in communicating to me that you enjoy these videos. And as long as I know people are enjoying, I will continue to put them together. So again, get signed up for the class. Everybody take care. Hopefully, I'll see you on Thursday.